In a courtroom showdown that's got the nation buzzing, Chief Justice John Roberts and Representative Jasmine Crockett face off in a clash of wits and wills that no one saw coming. Picture this: a packed Supreme Court chamber, the air thick with anticipation as whispers ripple through the crowd. A routine hearing has spiraled into something extraordinary, a fiery debate that's about to make headlines. At the heart of it all, a staggering $200,000 fine, slapped on Crockett by Roberts himself, and her response, it's bold, unapologetic, and some say enough to bring a tear to the Chief Justice's eye. What unfolded in that hallowed hall? Let's dive into the drama that set Washington ablaze. The scene is set in the grandeur of the Supreme Court, marble columns gleaming under the soft glow of chandeliers. Reporters scribble furiously, cameras hum, and spectators lean forward, sensing history in the making. It all began with a case challenging executive overreach, where Crockett, the outspoken Texas Democrat, delivered a blistering critique of judicial bias during a congressional hearing. Her words, sharp and unfiltered, accused the court of playing politics under robes. Roberts, presiding over a related case, took exception, issuing a rare contempt fine of $200,000 for what he called disrespect to the judiciary's integrity. But Crockett, she's not one to back down. What followed was a verbal sparring match that left jaws on the floor. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "Representative Crockett, your remarks have undermine the public's trust in this institution. The fine stands as a consequence of your reckless rhetoric. This court will not tolerate such attacks." Representative Jasmine Crockett said, "With all due respect, Chief Justice, I'm not here to stroke egos or tiptoe around feelings. My job is to speak truth to power. And if that stings, maybe it's because there's some truth in it. You don't get to silence me with a fine $200,000 or $2 million. The crowd gasps, a murmur spreading like wildfire. Roberts, usually composed, adjusts his glasses, his expression tightening. He leans forward, his voice measured but firm. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "This isn't about silencing you, Representative. It's about preserving the rule of law. Your accusations of bias are baseless, and they erode the foundation of justice. Do you deny crossing the line?" Representative Jasmine Crockett said, "Crossing the line? Let's talk about lines. So when this court picks and chooses which rights to uphold based on who's in power, that's a line crossed. When justices cozy up to political agendas, that's a line obliterated. I'm just calling it like I see it, and the American people see it too." The chamber buzzes, some nodding in agreement, others shaking their heads. Crockett's defiance is electric, her words slicing through the formality of the court. Roberts, however, isn't swayed. His tone grows sharper, a rare glimpse of frustration breaking through his judicial calm. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "You speak of agendas, yet offer no evidence. This court interprets the Constitution, not public opinion polls. If you have proof of misconduct, present it. Otherwise, your words are nothing but noise." Representative Jasmine Crockett said, "Noise, Chief Justice. My voice is the sound of a democracy fighting to be heard. You want evidence? Look at the rulings that roll back voting rights, gut protections for the marginalized, and give corporations more power than people. The pattern's clear as day. You can find me, but you can't find the truth." A ripple of applause breaks out, quickly silenced by the gavel's sharp crack. Roberts's eyes narrow, but there's a flicker of something, doubt perhaps, in his expression. He straightens, his voice now carrying a weight that quiets the room. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "The truth, Representative, is not served by grandstanding. This court has upheld the law for centuries through wars and crises. Your fine isn't punishment. It's a reminder that words have consequences. Do you truly believe you're above accountability?" Representative Jasmine Crockett said, "Accountability? Oh, I'm all for it, but let's make it a two-way street. If I'm accountable for my words, then this court should be accountable for its actions. You talk about centuries of law, but what about the centuries of injustice this system has ignored? I'm not above accountability. I'm demanding it for me and for you." The tension is palpable, like a storm about to break. Spectators hold their breath, sensing the debate has transcended the fine itself. It's now a battle over trust, power, and the soul of justice. Roberts pauses, his fingers tapping the bench, a rare moment of hesitation from the Chief Justice. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "You speak of injustice, yet you paint with a broad brush. This court isn't perfect, but it's not the caricature you describe. My role is to interpret the law, not to bend it to anyone's will. If you seek change, Congress is your arena, not this chamber." Representative Jasmine Crockett said, "Congress is my arena, but justice is my fight, and when this court tips the scales, it's my duty to call it out." You say you interpret the law, but whose law? The people's or the powerful's? That fine you slapped on me, it's not about respect, it's about control, and I'm not here to be controlled." The room erupts and whispers, some cheering, others hissing. Roberts' face softens for a moment, his eyes meeting Crockett's. There's a weight to her words, a conviction that seems to pierce his stoic facade. He clears his throat, his voice quieter, now almost reflective. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "Control no representative. My duty is to protect this institution from chaos, but I hear your passion, your frustration. It's not lost on me. Still, the fine stands not to silence you, but to remind you change comes through dialogue, not destruction, Representative." Jasmine Crockett said, "Dialogue, I'm all for it, but it's got to be real. You want respect, earn it by listening to the people, not just the law books. I'll pay your fine not because I agree, but because I choose my battles. But know this, my voice isn't for sale, and it's only getting louder." The gavel falls, but the silence is deafening. Roberts looks at Crockett, and for a fleeting moment his eyes glisten. Tears or just the light, no one can say for sure. Crockett stands tall, unbowed, her gaze steady. The crowd is on its feet, some chanting her name, others shaking their heads in disbelief. As the session adjourns, the nation is left reeling. Social media explodes, pundits dissect every word, and the $200,000 fine becomes a symbol of a deeper divide. Was Crockett's defiance a triumph for free speech or a reckless attack on the judiciary? Did Roberts' reaction show weakness or a rare moment of humanity? The debate rages on, but one thing is clear: this wasn't just a courtroom spat, it was a mirror held up to a fractured system, and neither side walked away unchanged. In the days that follow, Crockett takes to the airwaves, vowing to fight on. Roberts, ever the enigma, retreats to the court's quiet halls, but insiders whisper his rattled. The fine is paid, but the cost, political, personal, and emotional, lingers. Washington buzzes with talk of reform, of accountability, of voices like Crockett refusing to be silenced. And somewhere in the heart of the Supreme Court, the echo of her words remains, a challenge to power that won't soon fade. This is more than a news story. It's a saga of conviction versus tradition, of a woman who spoke her truth and a justice who felt its weight. The nation watches, waits, and wonders what's next in this clash that's shaken the pillars of justice. Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Jasmine